exclusive to Network 10.
Back and the big one is underway. As they come down the straight the first time. It's going up on the outside of. Got 2,000 metres left to travel.
Roses are blooming, all sorts of vehicles are rolling into the car park, the champers is on ice, and we are set for one of the great days of racing on the Australian turf calendar. Good morning everyone and welcome to Flemington, Australia's international racecourse on Amy Victoria Derby Day. A race meeting for the purists but also the first day of a week-long party. Well, today marks the start of the 1999 Melbourne Cup Carnival, with the day regarded traditionally as the greatest single day of racing on the Australian turf calendar. And shortly I'll be joined by a panel of experts, Jenny Chapman, Richard Freedman and John Willetts, to talk about the Spring Carnival, today's racing and of course the all-important Foster's Melbourne Cup on Tuesday. But today is much more than just another race meeting. It's an event. It attracts all sorts of people for all sorts of reasons. To help set the scene, here's a lady with her finger on the pulse of what's going on, where and with whom. In the Channel 10 marquee in the members' car park, a very good morning to the beautiful Sandra Sully.
Good morning, Peter. Yes, I'm very excited to be part again of this year's Melbourne Cup Carnival. It's going to be a wonderful week full of fun and festivities, as always. And nowhere more so than the traditional Derby Eve Ball, which was, of course, last night for all the young members. It's a great night out and a must-do on the social event calendar this year and every year. As you can see, hundreds of people turning out. I somewhat suspect they may be giving the Barocca reserves a bit of a nudge, as they'll be doing throughout the week, but I guess many of us may be in the same boat. Many of the young members will be making their way out here today, but as you can see, they had a great time last night. Now, loads of celebrities will be popping by the marquee this week to drop in and say good day. Some of those coming by today include designer Katie Davenport, aromatherapy queen Natalie Bloom, American singing sensation Martina McBride, and we must point to an interview on Tuesday with the Australian round-the-world solo yachtsman Jesse Martin. He's going to be coming by, so we're really looking forward to catching up with him. But now over to the birdcage, where today's runners are stable before their big races, and to a man who has an enormous passion for horses, as we know, our very own Tim Webster. Good morning, Tim.
Morning, Sandra. Indeed I do. In fact, I spend as much time out here with the horses as I possibly can. Good morning to you. Good morning to our millions of viewers around Australia and indeed around the world. This year we're joined by cable viewers throughout North America, Canada and the USA for all 4 days of the carnival. So welcome to you, of course, and we hope you enjoy it. Of course, Melbourne Cup Day is Tuesday. For us, it's the first Tuesday in November. For you, it's the first Monday night in November. It's a 3,200 metre race, or 2 miles, and it's a handicap. There doesn't seem to be any handicap to people coming here to Flemington from Australia, indeed from right around the world. It's really become a truly international event, not just the Melbourne Cup, but all 4 days. Last year, 285,000 people came through these turnstiles, and given a little bit of good weather, we can expect record attendances again, I'm sure. But of course, it's not just about racing this 4 days. It is one great big fashion parade, and keeping an eye on the beautiful people at Flemington is our Lynn Talbot.
Well, thank you, Tim. And you are a man with a keen eye for fashion, so you would have seen just how diverse and beautiful the latest looks are. I guess to summarise, I'd have to say femininity, but there are many styles and many influences that we'll see here on the lawns of Flemington. Traditionally, Derby Day features a lot of the colours black and white, but it's also Gentleman's Day, so expect to see some dapper-looking fellas as well as the ladies out here. But of course, the scene will change dramatically for Cup Day. Cup Day is a day where anything goes in the fashion stakes. Oaks Day brings out ladies in their stylish traditional outfits. They're quite beautiful. Oaks Day, look forward to that on Thursday. And of course, Stakes Day is probably pared down a little more casual. But look, I'll be bringing you glimpses of what the best dressed are wearing out here on Flemington in Myers Fashions on the Field. I'll also be doing some inspirational interviews with some of Australia's best fashion designers and bringing you some of the fun from Flemington's most notorious party zone, the Birdcage. Looking forward to it. But what is this weather doing? Let's find out from the very fashionable, questionably fashionable Tim Bailey.
Fashionable? Well, there's a first for everything, isn't there, folks? Welcome to famous Flemington, the course of history, and there he is behind me in bronze. Farlap, the legend. Now, if this isn't the greatest week in Australian sport, we don't know what is. The big question at the moment is not how to find a winner. What is the weather going to do? Are we going to need this dastardly fellow or not? Up or down? Well, the Weather Bureau, as we check it for you, says probably. We have got a cloudy one, rain at times, and a top of 23. Now, as always, we've got to thank the VRC, the Victorian Racing Club. Yes, but also the VRC, the very reliable camera. It will bring you the famous faces, all the fun places of the Cup Carnival races. It goes to places it shouldn't be allowed into and gets the results. Looking forward to bringing you all the colour and the character of the Melbourne Cup Carnival, starting with Derby Day. But right now, here's Peter Donegan.
Tim Bailey, you are going to be up to some mischief over the next few days, and there are grey skies, as Tim mentioned, hanging over Flemington, but it is Derby Day and the program kicks off at 11:25 this morning with the William Inglis Carbine Club Stakes, and it is a day of highlights because we have 3 Group 1 races, 3 Group 2s and 3 Group 3s, and the Group 1 treble is the Amy Victoria Derby at 2:45. These are Eastern times. Louis Vuitton McKinnon Stakes at 3:25. And the Salinger Stakes at 5 minutes after 4. Well, Tim Bailey said the important thing was to get the weather conditions, not so much important to find winners. I think the next 3 people might disagree with him. We're going to do our best to find winners for you throughout the day. And every Derby Day, I assemble with my mates again at the start of the carnival, and I'm happy to do it again this year. Jenny Chapman, Richard Freedman, John Letts, good morning to you.
Morning, Pete.
Peter.
Yeah, good morning, Pete.
Welcome back from Hong Kong.
Thank you very much, and it's great to be here once again for the wonderful spring carnival that we have. Got to keep an eye on this weather though, because it might bring some wet trackers in if we do get a lot of rain soon.
Although the good thing so far has been that it's only been a sprinkle, really.
Yes, it has, so no problems at the moment.
Rich, what's the Freedman Stables position coming into this carnival?
Well, we're going to have a bit of a light carnival, I would say. We don't have the number of good horses we've had in the past, but we're doing our best. We've got a few good runners, so we're quite satisfied with our representation.
And Johnny Letts, you've already been out there on the track with your old mate Banjo yesterday, and don't you make a fine couple?
We do, actually, but I'd just like to get that guy that hopped under the running rail when I was going past. He had a white shirt on, right? And I don't think Banjo likes white very much.
He's become part of the carnival, hasn't he?
He really has, Pete, and it's interesting to note with a horse like him, you know, when the carnival's coming around, people ring me and say, you know, where can we do a story on him? You know, Canberra, Sydney, everybody just wants to know him.
Well, you might get a bit wet out there on the track. As I said, we have had a little bit of rain early this morning. Not too much to worry about, but we do want to find out about the all-important condition of the track. And the 2 gentlemen who can tell us more are out there on the racing surface at the moment. Dan Mielicki and Gary Willetts, good morning to you both.
Thank you very much, Peter. Good morning, everyone. Well, the track officially is rated good today, which is fantastic. It's the sort of racetrack condition you'd love for one of the best race days in the world. So track officially good. The rail is in the true position, and the penetrometer is 3.86, which again backs up the fact that this track is in the perfect good order.
Yeah, definitely, Dan. Look, I spoke to Mr. Rod Spradfield, the course manager. He told me that he put 1 millimetre of water on yesterday. This weather today, we've got a little light rain here, but it's nothing. And this track, I'd say, is as good as perfect as I've ever seen. You can just see I can't even get this umbrella into this track. The grass is a little bit shorter than normally at the start of a carnival, but I'd say, look, you can back horses to come from anywhere today. There's not one breath of air. You don't have to worry about the horses leading or from behind. As I said, it's a good track, but I'd say it's near to perfect.
The last couple of meetings here, the inside and outside, there's been very little difference, and probably the closest that they've raced for quite a few years, Gary, and even walking this section of the track this morning, we found very little difference between both sides.
Yeah, no difference at all, Dan, and that's what I say, like these couple of straight races, if the horses want to go to the outside, I don't think it'd be any advantage. I'd come to the inside myself.
And it has been drizzly rain throughout most of the morning, as Peter had pointed out, but you wouldn't know it down here on track.
Good on you, Dan. Thanks very much. Dan Mielicki, who'll be calling his 11th Melbourne Cup for Network 10 on Tuesday. Well, the other important piece of information at the start of any day of racing is naturally enough the scratchings. So let's check them out now. Well, as I said, there's going to be plenty of activity on the tape, plenty of activity in the betting ring. Will we see a repetition of that massive plunge on Mahogany going back in the Amy Victoria Derby 6 years ago? If we do, here's the fella who's going to keep us up to date with everything that's happening. Tim Gossage, good morning to you, Timothy.
Yeah, good morning, Peter. Great to be back here again this year. And as you mentioned, over the years, there has been some enthralling battles between the bookmakers and the punters. In 1993, Mahogany, that plunge led, of course, by Kerry Packer and Lloyd Williams. And those 2 men, of course, have struck gold on Cup Day over the the last couple of years with Might and Power and Jezebel. They've literally taken millions out of the bookies' bags with those plungers on Cup Day. But today is Derby Day. Notoriously, it is a great punting day and an intriguing day between the bookmakers and the punters. The tip is that Blackfriars and Shogun Lodge will certainly open up the pronounced favourites in the bookmakers' ring. Talking to a few bagmen today, they've said they're going to take on Shane Dye and Shogun Lodge, but they're going to take on Shane Dye not just today, but over the next 4 days of the carnival. It is a fantastic atmosphere already. The boards are being set for the first race, and Pete, over the next 4 days, I'll bring you the blow-by-blow description between the bookies and the punters.
Big Timothy Gossage keeping an eye on things down in the betting ring and also releasing a few moths from that wallet, no doubt, throughout the afternoon. Well, the big one coming up later on, $650,000 in prize money to the winner of the Amy Victoria Derby today, and also a beautiful trophy worth $5,000. It is one of the most sought-after trophies in Australian racing and will guarantee that horse's future for a long time. Let's take our first break. As we do, we're going to have a look at Milton Black's prognostications for the carnival today. We're off and running in 1999 at Flemington.
Over 137 years, it has captured the heart and soul of all Australians. It's the biggest, most prestigious event in our sporting calendar. Yet, it's beyond sport. It's a tradition steeped in our blood, and we wouldn't have it any other way. Only one network can bring you all the emotion of history in the making. The 1999 Melbourne Cup Day, live and exclusive, starts 10 a.m. Tuesday on 10.